My wife cheated and the kids hid it from me. I found out my wife cheated on me with a younger guy, and my daughters knew all along. I'm 55 years old. I found out that my 52-year-old wife cheated on me a few years ago. I never noticed any suspicious behavior from her. We always had a strong relationship. 25 years of marriage and 3 daughters aged 17, 20, and 23. At least I thought we had a strong relationship. Maybe not. One day I got a message from a woman whose fiancé had confessed that he cheated on her with an older colleague. He gave the name of his lover, so she did some digging and found me. She felt I deserved to know the truth. I don't know if she did it out of revenge against my wife or from genuine concern, but it doesn't matter now. At first I didn't believe her, but she started providing more and more details, dates, names of colleagues who were aware. Everything pointed to the truth. The guy told her everything. The hotel name, even my home address, because my wife had invited him to our place. Her phone number, and so on. So, yes, at some point I had to face reality. He was 21 years old at the time, just a kid. I still can't believe she slept with a boy. It happened when I was on a business trip. Classic. When I connected all the dots. I realized my wife had probably planned it all. My trip had been scheduled months in advance. It's hard to believe she just happened to cheat during that specific time. To me, she no longer exists. I'm preparing for divorce now, sorting out finances and such. A good friend of mine went through something similar and advised me not to confront her immediately because she might blow up if cornered. I don't think she would, but who knows? I thought I knew her. Apparently, I didn't. It's incredibly hard to see her every day, acting like nothing happened. She's planning our next vacation, suggesting we visit our daughters. The eldest works in another city, the middle one is in college, the youngest is finishing high school. She's just a roommate now. I feel nothing. I'm a ghost in this house. I get up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, then to work. I own my own business. I get back around 7 p.m. and focus on my own stuff. She senses something's off, but I don't care anymore. The most painful part is that my daughters knew. That woman's fiancé told her that my daughter caught them kissing in our living room. My wife thought she'd be at school all day. Apparently, she managed to calm her down and explain it away. I don't know exactly what happened, but my daughter never told me. I'm not sure what my wife told her to keep her silent. Considering how close she is with her sisters, I'm 100% sure she told them too. And together, they chose to hide it from me. Maybe that's why I feel so distant now. I believe I was a good father. I've worked hard in my business so they could have the best. I've always put them first when making business decisions, to ensure they had an education without debt, the best start in life. I tried to be there every step of the way. I did what any father should do. Of course, we had our ups and downs, but nothing major. They're my little girls. I always saw them as my little princesses. Knowing they knew everything really hurts. Part of me thinks they kept quiet because they didn't want to break up the family. I understand that, but the anger keeps building, and it's only growing. We have a family group chat on WhatsApp. When I see them asking for advice or help with rent advances and so on, I just want to scream and dump everything on them. But I know it won't solve anything. It would give me 10 seconds of relief, and then the pain would return. Another part of me just wants to leave. Close my bank accounts, leave the house, cut all ties, and disappear. My friend talked me out of it. The law doesn't favor that. But honestly, it's getting harder to shake that thought. I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear their side. I just want to leave. Go live on a beach in Thailand for a couple of months. Maybe one day I'll be ready to listen. Maybe not. I don't want to hear, "I'm sorry," or how they regret not telling me. They had 3 years. 3 years of looking me in the eyes and saying nothing. I can't understand how they managed to act like everything was normal. I feel like all 4 of them are master manipulators. The anger isn't fading. What would you do in my shoes? There's no chance of reconciliation with my wife. She only disgusts me now. And the fact that she still acts like a loving wife just fuels the fire. I'm glad my friend helped me and shared her experience. It helped me see things more clearly. I really need advice regarding my daughters. As I said, part of me wants to talk to them. Another part feels like they no longer deserve a second chance after the lies. It's too late. I'm just completely confused. Thank you for reading. It took me forever to write this post, but strangely, I feel a little better now. Edith, everyone. I read all the comments and wanted to add an update so you know where I stand now. First of all, I've hired a lawyer. Everything is in motion. Since the kids are adults, there will be no child support. As for spousal support, she might ask for it, but since she has a job and earns a decent income, the court will likely reject her claim. We only had a joint account for household expenses. Everything else is separate. Wise advice from my parents. If both spouses work, don't combine everything. I'm endlessly grateful for that. The lawyer said she might try to claim a portion of my business if I ever sell it. But again, since she's working, we can fight that. Honestly, I don't even care anymore. Second, I know I need to talk to my daughters. You're all absolutely right. The reason I haven't yet is because of the rage that won't go away. I feel like if even one of them says something wrong, I might lose it. I want to believe that my wife somehow convinced them to keep this secret and that lashing out at them would only make things worse. Yes, the anger may be misdirected, but to be clear, when I found out about the affair, I hated my wife. That hatred turned into indifference. I'm filing for divorce. She'll be out of my life. But it's different with the kids. I can't hate them. I still have feelings for them. Unfortunately, right now, those feelings are just anger, I assume. The youngest told her sisters because they've always been so close and supportive of each other. I was proud of that. So it's hard to believe she didn't share it with them. But as someone pointed out, I can't be 100% certain. Either way, I don't want to blame them. I'll understand if they say they just didn't want to destroy the family. But the lie is still hard to accept. Someone said it perfectly. It feels like they took the side of their cheating mother. I think I need time alone to process all this. Time I haven't had in years. Wife, daughters, business. The only personal time I get is at the gym. But that's not enough to process the anger. In my current situation, it would be strange to just say, I'm flying to Hawaii for a month. Third, STD tests, paternity tests, and so on. I'm getting checked. That's non-negotiable. I already have an appointment and will run all the necessary tests. As for paternity tests, I don't even know what the point is. Worst case, they're not biologically mine. So what? I raised them for 20+ years. They're my daughters. Blood doesn't matter. And if they're not mine, that's on their mother, not them. I won't blame them. Fourth, maybe the woman who messaged me lied. That was my first thought. I mean, I have 3 adult daughters. I believed my wife and I had a strong marriage. My first reply to her was, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I don't believe what you're saying about my wife. Then she started giving me more details, proof. As I said, I don't care if she did it out of revenge or conscience. But the more she said, the more doubts settled in, and they didn't go away. I started my own investigation, and as you can imagine, it's much easier to find evidence when you know what you're looking for. I'm not someone who hides from reality. Facts are facts. No matter how painful, they must be faced. From what I understand, that woman and my wife's lover were engaged. I don't know what happened with them, but apparently, at some point, he decided to come clean. What triggered that? Only God knows. Fifth, cutting all ties and moving on. I think people who say that probably don't have kids. You can't just walk away. What I meant was that I need to go away for a while to think. When I'm ready, we'll talk. But no, it'll never be the same again. I love them, they love me, but things have changed. No matter how angry I am, I know I can't just disappear. If the youngest really didn't tell her sisters and kept it all inside, my sudden disappearance could destroy her, and the older two might blame her. That would be the worst-case scenario. For me, maybe I'm an idiot, but I'm a father. I'm supposed to protect them. I'll ask the lawyer to speed up the paperwork and officially serve my wife. On that same day, I'll call my daughters on Skype. They live in different states. I want to do it that day so they don't have time to talk to their mother and let her play the victim. I want her to think until the very end that I have no idea what's going on, until I'm ready. Now it's Sunday, and I hope everything will be ready by next week. Then I can finally talk to my girls. We'll see how it goes. As many of you advised, last week I invited my youngest daughter for lunch. During lunch, I asked her if there was anything she wanted to share with me. I don't know what triggered it, my expression or my tone, but she immediately understood what I meant. She burst into tears and told me the whole story. It turns out she really saw her mother kissing another man at our house a few years ago. Apparently, my ex kicked that man out and sat down to talk to our daughter. She explained that it was a fleeting mistake, a moment of weakness, and thanked our daughter for interrupting them. She swore it was a one-time thing and begged her not to tell me, because, knowing me, I would have left her and the family immediately. My daughter said she agreed to keep it secret because she believed her mother. Later, she told her two sisters. As you can imagine, they were shocked. The oldest one apparently didn't believe it was just one kiss. It seemed too convenient that the youngest happened to walk into the living room right at that moment. She told them not to worry, that she would handle their mother herself. I can't help but feel proud of her for taking that burden on herself. As far as the youngest knows, the oldest did talk to their mother about the affair and said, "If you don't come clean, we will tell him." But over the years, their mother always found a convenient excuse to delay the conversation. Work, a sick relative, always a seemingly valid reason not to destroy the family right now. At the end of lunch, I told my daughter I'd reach out to her sisters to discuss everything. She insisted on being part of the conversation. I messaged the two older girls saying we urgently needed to talk. We quickly set up a video call. Part of me thinks they already suspected what I wanted to talk about. I told them their sister had told me what happened. They both started crying, apologizing, saying they always wanted to tell me, and so on. I told them I wasn't angry, that I was sorry they had to carry such a heavy burden for so long, and that I'd always love them. As for their mother, I said I was leaving because I couldn't see myself staying with someone who betrayed me. But I added that I would talk to her before making a final decision. It's the least I could do. I asked my daughters not to say anything to their mother, as I planned to talk to her myself that evening. At the end of the day, I went home. My wife was already there, talking about her day as usual. I told her I had an interesting conversation with our daughter. She immediately understood what it was about and started crying, saying it was just a kiss, and that she knew how much. I valued trust and was afraid of losing me over such a small thing. Honestly, I thought seeing her cry would break me too, but it didn't. Not a single tear. I told her that tomorrow she would receive divorce papers by courier. And that was it. After that, I went to the bedroom, packed a few things, and left. I didn't even know where to go. I just couldn't stay in that house anymore. I booked a hotel room downtown and called my youngest daughter to let her know I wouldn't be home. She said she was actually planning to stay at her friend's place to avoid coming home and facing her mother. But since I wasn't home, she asked if she could stay with me. Of course, I said yes. I told my other two daughters that we'd be staying in a hotel for the night. They asked if we could talk together. I agreed. During the conversation, I told them what the next steps would be according to my lawyer. I also made it very clear that they are my daughters and I love them. I couldn't help but say it hurt me that they didn't tell me. I said I thought we had a strong bond, that we could talk about anything. They cried again and apologized. I reminded them that no matter what, they are still my daughters and I love them. But I also said I needed some time before I could act normal again. I said I was considering a long trip to clear my head. The oldest said that if that's what I needed, I should go. After that, we just went to sleep. The next morning, my youngest daughter and I were having breakfast when her mother called. I didn't want to answer, but my daughter insisted I should. I agreed and put the phone on speaker. The moment I picked up, it was obvious she'd been drinking all night. She started crying, saying she loved me, that we were meant for each other, that this would destroy the kids, and so on. I told her the kids were grown. They didn't need us anymore. We'd given them all we could, and now it was up to them to build their lives. And then she turned completely monstrous. She said she would take everything from me, bankrupt my company, tell the girls I beat her, and more. I was in shock, just staring at my daughter, who also couldn't believe what she was hearing. I ended the call and told her my lawyer would be in touch. We didn't know what to say to each other. It felt like the person we had lived with for 20 years had suddenly become someone else. 5 minutes later, my daughter got a message from her mom saying they needed to talk. My daughter was scared. I told her not to respond. In any case, her mom was clearly drunk, and nothing good would have come from that conversation. I told her I'd stay in the hotel until things were settled, and she was welcome to stay with me if she wanted. We got on a group call again, and I told my other daughters what had happened. As you can imagine, they were shocked. I met with my lawyer and told him everything. He said I had nothing to worry about. My wife has a good job and a stable financial situation. I own a business that employs 5,100 people, and no judge would risk that, especially considering her lifestyle. She'll get half of our shared property, houses, cars, etc., but she won't be able to touch my personal savings, and definitely not the company. My daughter said she was afraid to go home, afraid her mother would blame her for everything. I told her I'd rent an apartment downtown and she could live there with me until she felt ready to return or went to college. That insane call from her mom really shook her. I told her that if needed, I could find her someone to talk to. A therapist, for example. We'll see if she wants that. My wife received the papers and apparently created a whole drama, both in her family and mine. Her relatives tried calling us, but the eldest daughter just shut them down. On my side, my brother supported me. He knows I wouldn't go through all this without a serious reason. So that's where things are. The divorce is in process. My daughter is staying with me until she's ready to go back. Or maybe she never will. My wife keeps messaging me. I might meet with her, but my lawyer strongly advised against it. He said I have nothing to gain, only things to lose. I think I'll take his advice. I'm not going to Thailand until I'm sure my youngest is okay. So if I go, it'll probably be next year, after she finishes school. I don't know what our everyday life will look like now. We'll see. I don't think I'll write another update unless something major happens. So once again, thank you all for your support. I never thought I'd end up in a situation like this, and I hope none of you ever do. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Check out our previous video right here, and good luck to you.